Hey, bless up. This is King Kevin Dorival in the building, baby. How y'all doing today? I'm here today to talk to you about two things, two historical events that happened in Black history and world history. One is the Juneteenth and the Haitian Revolution. Well, the Haitian Revolution took place long before Juneteenth, but they're very much a big relationship and correlation between the two. And so we'll go over a few dates and a few key individuals that played a significant role, dating back from 1779, 1791, 1801, 1803, 1804, 1830, 1800. I forgot the revolution there, the rebellion by Gabriel Prosser. This is very interesting. And of course 1863 and 1865. Now I'm going to make sense of these dates, and I remember meeting this young man not too long ago in Atlanta, and he was telling me that he has an issue with remembering dates and social studies and history. And I was like, well, you just got to put a timeline to things and how one thing led to another and how they all relate to one another, and then it'll be a piece of cake for you. So that's what we're going to do with you guys today, all right? And the names we're going to go over, Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Jean-Jacques Boyer, just to name a few. All right, now, 1779. In Savannah, Georgia, there was a huge battle, right? Called the Siege of Savannah, or the Battle of Savannah, which took place here in Georgia. And 545, I believe, soldiers, definitely way over 500 Haitian soldiers volunteered to fight on behalf of America, trying to get their independence from British England, right? And so these soldiers fought under the French umbrella, put their lives on the line, to help Americans gain their independence. Now, what's so ironic about that is that the soldiers who fought in that war in Savannah, 1779, were some of the key players who also fought in the Haitian Revolution, which we'll get into. And at the time, you can see the statue in Savannah right now, Franklin Square, of like 4 to 5 soldiers. And one of them is a drummer boy, the soldiers holding their guns, and one of the drummer boy, who was Henry Christophe, who was a teenager at the time and ended up being one of the key players, key soldiers, generals in the Haitian Revolution. Now, what makes the Haitian Revolution so important, and why am I going over this history? One, I'm Haitian, right? And so going over my history, I didn't know about the siege in Savannah. I didn't know nothing about the Haitian Revolution and how it was the first successful slave rebellion, and that created its own state, the first and only. Not that Haiti was the only country that fought for independence. There's quite a few countries that were fighting, against slavery, but Haiti was the first and only one to be successful. But the history books don't tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Why is that? That's something that we have to ask ourselves, right? But I know why. In retrospect, it's because by holding that information, the kids, the students, they, it's an identity crisis. You don't know who you are. You don't know what your ancestors did to pave the way for you to even be able to pick up a book. This is a book by Dr. Africa. I'm reading African Holistic Medicine. Great book to read. But our ancestors, just to be looking at a book, let alone reading one, or even think about it, this could cost you your life. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious it was. So we owe it to our ancestors to pay homage and just to pick up a book and read and learn and increase our knowledge and consciousness, just because they fought to death so that we can do it. Because with knowledge there's power. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, specifically about reading and why they, the slave owners, forbid our ancestors from reading. Now, moving along. All right, so 1791, there was a Haitian general called, not Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who was an interesting individual. Definitely got to learn about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, but Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint Louverture was the greatest military strategist of all time. You know, frontline soldier, did his thing, and he started the Haitian Revolution, the putting it together. You know, because it started without him. You know what I'm saying? They was already, you know, the Haitians were already burning up the plantations in Saint Dominique, which is now Haiti, because in Saint Dominique, which was the #1 exporter in sugar, right? It takes 20 canes, 20 sugar canes to make 1 pound of sugar. Imagine that. Now imagine how many plantations and acres of sugar cane it takes to have a whole boatload of sugar. And so this made Saint Dominique one of the richest colonies in the world, richest countries in the world. It actually gave London, not just London, but Europe, about 70% of all the sugar came from Saint Dominique. This one small country gave them nearly all their sugar for the cakes, their cookies, and tea. You know, I've been in London. I was there for 2 weeks back in 2017 on my book tour. You know, the Kings and Queens United book tour, and which, you know, I drank a lot of tea, and so they drink tea religiously, and you know that happened. That's been going on for a very long time because they love their tea. Now, not only did the Haiti supply Europe with this tea, but it supplied the world with I believe over 60% of all sugar came from Saint Dominique. This made France extremely wealthy. This was their cash cow. And so the slave owners, there was no laws. They could do anything and whatever to keep the Haitians in line. Or at the time they were considered Haitians, at the time they were considered, you know, enslaved Africans or just slaves, you know. But so they fought, you know, they were beaten, and little did they know, did they respect or realize the culture of the enslaved Africans, because they came from the Homie, right? The Homie, which was one of the most powerful warrior kingdoms in all the lands of the world, especially in Africa, West Africa. It's now known as Benin, Benin today, and it's near Togo, Nigeria, in the west part of Africa. But this was they had 11 dynasties, it's a warrior kingdom. And so they weren't jokes. These were not your normal people, you know what I'm saying? These people fought on a regular basis, and they took dominion by force of many other tribes around West Africa, and you know, had them work, you know, on their fields and their empire, really expand their lands, similar to what Shaka Zulu did in South Africa, or Queen Nzinga did, you know, in the region of southern Congo, you know, and which was part of South Africa as well, you know, very close proximity, you know what I mean? So this was key information. And why is this important? Because the French colonized that part, colonized the people of the Homie, brought them to the island, you know. And Toussaint once said that I was born a slave, but nature gave me a spirit of a free man, gave my soul, you know, my soul is free. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's powerful. Knowing that he's a slave, but he had the soul of a free person. And how dare they take away my freedom, or our freedom? And so he started leading the war against the French, and you know, against all odds, they beat the French. I mean, by all odds, it was like a 13-year war from 1791 to 1803. And in that time, you know, whooping Napoleon, who was supposedly the greatest military strategist, but the history books won't tell you that Toussaint whooped him. So if Toussaint beat him, what does that make Toussaint? If Toussaint beat the greatest, wouldn't that mean Toussaint is the greatest military strategist in world history? If he beat the greatest? You feel what I'm saying? But the books don't teach you that. Even the book 40 Laws of Power, you know, it gives praises to Napoleon Bonaparte, but it says nothing about Toussaint. You know what I mean? So this conspiracy to withhold information from our kids, which hinders their confidence. See, I didn't become confident myself as a king, as a black man, until I read about the Homie. You know, learning about my Haitian roots, my African roots. You know, until I realized how powerful and what a significant role they played, not just in the islands, or in West Africa, but also here in America, you know, I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today. You know what I'm saying? Like, this really paved the way for me to understand I am more than a conqueror. There's more for me than jails and prisons and slinging dope and calling my women bitches and hoes. There's more, you know what I'm saying, to my DNA than that. You feel me? Let me take this hat off, my soldier hat. Show off this fresh haircut. Now, I want to go fast forward a little bit. You know, Toussaint gets, you know, kidnapped, and then 1804, well, he gets kidnapped in 1803, right? May 18th is Haitian Flag Day. You know, a woman named Kathleen Fron, she's the one, Flown, F-R-O-N, she stitched the flag blue and red. Coincidentally enough, the Juneteenth flag is also blue and red, but it has a white star in the middle to represent Juneteenth. But we'll go into that a little later, because that's, you know, 1865. You know, we talk about 1803, and so our Haitian brothers and sisters, you know, thanks to Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who claimed the independence of Haiti January 1st, 1804. That's why we celebrate, you know, January 1st and May 18th the way we do, because, you know, we fought for that. Not only did we fight to help the Americans, the black Americans, black African Americans here in the States, but we helped El Salvador, Venezuela with independence, you know what I'm saying, different parts of Africa. Like, that's why, you know, everyone owes Haiti a thank you. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we can stand up today as one nation, one God, one destiny, as Marcus Garvey would like to say, the Honorable Marcus Garvey would like to say, because we paved the way for everyone to get freedom. That's why people like Malcolm X will always give homage to Haiti. You know, people like the Black Panthers. Black Panthers visited Haiti a couple of times, you know, back in the 70s as well. You know, and even when Hitler was slaughtering the Jews, you know what I'm saying, the Jews came to Haiti for refuge, and we opened our doors. And as a matter of fact, let me speak about that. Haiti became known as what you call freedom land, right? When Toussaint made himself governor, and by the way, in 1801, he created the first constitution, right? And if I'm not mistaken, before the U.S. Constitution, he created the Constitution. Toussaint was an educated multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? He was great with animals. He was great with politics, because his slave owner son was studying in France and different parts of the world. So wherever he went, Toussaint was his servant. Toussaint went as well. You know, he way in the back, but he's listening and studying at the same time. And he even learned how to read from his slave master's son. With that being said, you know, when it came time for the Constitution, he wrote in there that no white person, man or woman, can own land in Haiti. But when, under President Roosevelt, when they occupied Haiti, they changed that, right? In the early 1900s, they erased that part. So that's why they buying and invading and just terrorizing our people in Haiti. And we looking at it as, oh, we got intervention from America, you know, the great white man's coming to save us. But in actuality, they're pillaging the country of the natural resources. They found $30 billion worth of oil and gold in Haiti. You have to watch my video, Oil, Gold, and Fortunes in Haiti. Go to my channel, subscribe, search. You'll see that video. It has about 7,000 views. And, you know, I got a lot of props for making that video online and in person. I also want to make mention that what Toussaint did with his money, he used Europeans, Frenchmen, and other people from Europe, possibly even Jews as well, to take his money, go to the United States under the disguise of slave owners, purchase slaves by the hundreds, right, and bring them to Haiti in freedom. But when they found out that about that, they realized that they were able to. What they were doing was they were freeing the slaves, and this became a big problem. Once the people realized this, that, you know, the United States government realized that they were doing that, they ended up stopping all ships from going into Haiti, or even allowing Haitian ships to come to America, because the word was spreading around that, you know, the Haitians received their independence, that the Haitians were, you know what I'm saying, increasing, you know what I'm saying, the tension in America, because people were getting riled up like, oh yeah, we could get our freedom too. That's why in 1831, Nat Turner did what he did with the rebellion, you know. And I'm not sure about Gabriel Prosy, whether he was influenced by Haitian independence, which is possible. That's quite possible. He even had a rebellion. Then you have Denmark Vesey as well. So there were rebellions, even in Jamaica. Jamaica had a rebellion as well against British, but they weren't organized like the Haitians. You know what I'm saying? That was the major difference. We were able to organize ourselves, come together on one cause, to know that we had to fight. You know what I'm saying? And Toussaint was very big on that. So I'm definitely thankful and I'm blessed. And I hope you guys, in 1865, then the Juneteenth began. Stay tuned for part 2.